The average rent being paid by a tenant here in Bath has increased since February 2020 from £1,409 a month to £2,245 a month this year. That is an extraordinary increase of 59%. So what's responsible for this meteoric rise in rents? Well, it's a simple question of supply and demand. I've been banging on all year in these videos about the massive discrepancy between the number of tenants who are out there looking for homes to rent versus the quantity of properties that are available to them on the market. Let's have a look at that in a little more detail. Here in Bath in February 2020, there were 1,086 properties on the market. Fast forward to this year and there were only 951. That's a drop of 12.5%. Now, this graph here shows you the national figures, the number of properties that have been placed on the market to rent month by month since 2020, and you can see a very steady drop in the available properties. Let's look at that in a slightly different way. This chart shows month on month, and the blue line is 2020. And you can see that in every single month across the year, the available properties in 2020 have been lower in supply than in the 2 previous years gone by. So there is definitely a problem in terms of the quantity of properties that is available to renters. Now, when you look at that in the context of tenant demand, you see the problem is exacerbated even further, because this year tenant demand has increased by 142% compared to the 5-year average. So what happens when you get a shortage of properties or dwindling numbers of properties available to tenants versus an increase in numbers of people looking to rent properties? Well, it really pushes up rents, and that is a problem to tenants. They have less choice, they have higher rents, and it's much harder for them to save up for a deposit to get onto the housing ladder, because all of their money, or increasing amounts of their money, is being spent on rents. Now, you might think that this is all good news for landlords. There are shorter void periods, greater returns in terms of higher rents, but you have to balance that with increasing costs, increase in interest rates, and of course the recent Section 24 taxation changes that have hit landlords really hard. So, what is the solution to all of this? Well, if you want to give tenants greater choice in terms of where they live, and if you want to bring rents down, it's clear to me that we need an influx of property to the market. And that means encouraging investors to buy rental properties, because at the moment, the number of rental properties is in decline, and the number of tenants looking to rent properties is increasing, and that's just not sustainable. So, what are we going to see next year as we go into 2023? Well, at the moment, I'm afraid that we're going to see rents increase further. We're going to see that demand from tenants push up rents, and it's going to be a very hard market to rent a property in. As a landlord, you are going to see your returns increase as rents continue to rise. We'll see much more of this next year, and I look forward to telling you all about it. Bye-bye for now.